can't win them all, I guess. And the Phillies, once again, they struggled to get to that 5-game win streak. I think this was their 5th chance to do that this season, and now they're 0-5 in those chances. And what can I say? You're not going to get that massive run output that we have in this 4-game win streak. You're not going to put up 11 runs on the board. You can't rely on those walk-off grand slams to get 7 runs on the board. And we scored 8 runs yesterday against the San Diego Padres. You're not going to get those offensive outputs every day. We lose this ball game to the San Diego Padres by a score of 5-3. We got on the board early. We made it 3-0 early in this ball game. But Zach Eflin on the mound, also Nick Pivetta out of the bullpen, coughed that lead right up as we gave it to them. Zach Eflin was very poor on the mound today. Once we gave him that lead, only goes 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Not good enough at all. Same thing, Nick Pivetta. Once we bring him into this ballgame, he goes an inning and a third, 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Just like Zach Eflin. Not good enough at all. And that's going to be the question mark going down this last month and a half of the season. What's with our pitching staff, basically? We have Aaron Nola at the 1, Jason Vargas, Drew Smiley, most likely going to be Vince Velasquez with the 4 to 3 spot, and in that 5th spot. Since Jake Arrieta is now shut down for the rest of the season, he's going to have that surgery to remove his bone spur in his elbow. What's going to happen with that 5th spot in the rotation? We just gave it to Zach Eflin, and he went out there and gave a piss poor performance. So, what's Gabe Kapler going to do? Is he going to keep Zach Eflin in that spot? Are we going to go back to the Nick Pivetta experiment in the 5th spot in the rotation? Or are we going to grab some random guy off the streets and let him pitch? Honestly, I take the chance with the random guy off the streets, because they would probably be way better than Zach Eflin or Nick Pivetta. Zach Eflin was very solid, one of our better pitchers in the first half of the season. Then once past the All-Star break came, or even before the All-Star break, the second half of the season, he just forgot how to pitch. I don't know what happened to Zach Eflin, but dude forgot how to pitch. And Nick Pivetta is Nick Pivetta. Simple as that. And from the offensive standpoint, even though we only get 3 runs on the board, we gave the lead to our pitchers early and they coughed it up. But yes, you would also like to argue that they get more run support on the board, more than 3 runs. But you're not going to get that kind of run support every single game like we had the past 4. So you're going to have one of those games where the offense struggled, where the offense couldn't get anything going. It's going to happen. It's not going to be every single day with Charlie Manuel scoring at least 5, 6, 7 runs on the board. So even though with this pitching staff you basically have to score at least 5, 6, 7 runs on the board to even have a chance in the ball game, but you're going to have those nights where the offense can't really do much. Even though we do early in this ball game, we get the lead. We get a 3-0 lead. Second inning, Gene Segura and Scott Henry get doubles to make it a 1-0 Phillies lead, and then Zach Eflin gets an RBI single of his own to make it 2-0. Bottom third inning, JT Realmuto, absolute bomb to left field. He's been very hot as of late, and it looks like he's going to continue to get hotter because him and Bryce Harper have been our best hitters as of late. Bryce Harper has been heating up. I think he has 7 home runs in his last 10 games. And even JT Realmuto, he's starting to show more power, and he's just starting to use the entire field, becoming more clutch of a hitter. And this is the JT Realmuto we have expected since trading a guy like Sixto Sanchez for him. This is the JT Realmuto we have expected since we traded for him. So looks like he's starting to get shape into form to what we expected him to be. So looks like he's getting his confidence back. Same thing with Bryce Harper. But even though Bryce Harper, I think, did go 0 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts, and Bryce Harper is not going to give you that all-star MVP type performance every single night. He's going to have that quiet night, and he happened to have that today. But Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto have been our best hitters as of late. And so, we get that 3-0 lead for Zach Eflin in the first 3 innings. Then, coughs it right up. Top 4 inning, Renfroe leads it off with a single. Then there's a force out. Then the pitcher gets it to a 3-2 count with 2 outs. He gets a single to extend the inning. And then comes back to haunt Zach Eflin. Very next batter, Margot, gets an RBI single to make it 3-1. And then Josh Naylor gets an 2 RBI double to tie the ball game at 3. We take Zach Eflin out of the ball game for Nick Pivetta. He does manage to get the last out of the inning, but does cough up the tie game in the top of the 5th. Eric Hosmer singles to lead it off. Then Hunter Renfroe walks 2 batters later. Ty France gets an RBI single, the scorer, Eric Hosmer, to make it 4-3. Then Urias gets another RBI single to make it 5-3 Padres. And not much really happens throughout the rest of this ball game. Once Nick Pivetta, Zach Eflin are gone, the rest of the bullpen comes in. They really they do their job and shut the door down and don't let the Padres offense get anything else on the board. But the same thing can be said for the Padres bullpen. They only bring in 3 guys after Lamet comes out of this ball game, and their bullpen just completely shut down the offense of the Phillies. They completely shut down our lineup. They only allow 1 base runner, and that was in the 9th inning from a hit by pitch to Gene Segura. So the Padres bullpen did what they had to do and shut down the door and win this ball game for the Padres. Strom comes in for the Padres in the 7th inning. Very solid inning for him. I think Munoz comes in the 8th. Just goes an inning, strikes out 2. Very solid inning. And then Kirby Yates, their closer, comes in, only allows that 1 base runner on the hit by a pitch. And then he shuts down the rest of the inning, gets the next 3 batters out. And for the Phillies bullpen, after Pivetta comes out, Suarez comes in for an inning, very solid for him. Hughes, who we recently just called up, after we put Roman Quinn on the 10-day IL with his strained groin. So, sadly, Roman Quinn's going to be out for a little bit. So we bring up Hughes to replace Roman Quinn on the roster. He pitches a solid inning of his own. Then we bring in Parker, goes a solid inning, strikes out 2. Jose Alvarez only allows 1 hit in his 9th inning. Pretty solid for him. So our both bullpens, besides Nick Pivetta, pretty solid today. Pretty solid. It's just the other story from the Phillies pitching standpoint. Zach Eflin, Nick Pivetta just couldn't get the job done. We gave them a 3-run lead. Well, we gave Zach Eflin the 3-run lead. He coughed it up. Then Nick Pivetta allowed the Padres to take the lead. And from the offensive standpoint, from those statistics, Rhys Hoskins was back in the lineup today after missing yesterday. He goes over 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Bryce Harper, like I said, had a quiet night, goes over 4 with 2 strikeouts. JT Realmuto, only guy in the lineup to have a multi-hit night, goes 4 for 2 with the home run. Corey Dickerson goes 1 for 4. Gene Segura goes 1 for 3 with the hit by pitch. Cesar Hernandez goes 0 for, he gets shut down tonight. Scott Kingery goes 1 for 4. Adam Hazley back in the lineup after Roman Quinn goes down to the IL, goes 0 for 4. And Zach Eflin at the bottom of the lineup goes 1 for 1 with the RBI single. And the rest of the bench guys, Miller comes in to pinch it 0 for 1. And then we bring in Logan Morrison, he goes 0 for 1. So, a very quiet offensive night for the Phillies. We only get 6 hits on the board, score 3 runs. And just like I said earlier, it's just, you're going to get that ball game eventually. We scored a lot of runs in this 4-game win streak. You're going to get that game where the offense was just completely silent when they got shut down. And that happened tonight. It's just sad to see that Zach Eflin and Nick Pivetta blew the ball game. They didn't get the job done. And yes, I would have loved to get that 5-game win streak. We would have all loved to see us get over that hump of the 5-game win streak marker, but didn't happen today. It's just you hope that this team can shake this loss off and go into tomorrow and win tomorrow afternoon's ball game, because tomorrow's ball game, it's a mandatory win. You cannot lose a series to the San Diego Padres. You cannot. I think we have Jason Vargas on the mound, so who knows where you're going to get out of him. But still, tomorrow's win is absolutely mandatory. You cannot whatsoever lose this series. You cannot sweep the Cubs, who are above 500, and then go and lose a series to the below 500 San Diego Padres. You just can't do it. And the Phillies, they love to suck us in. They love to bring us back into the mix when they start to play decent baseball, good baseball. They bring us back in, and just hopefully, it doesn't lead to disappointment. It just hopefully that we don't get sucked back in, only to get disappointed. Hopefully the Phillies can shake this loss off and come into tomorrow's game and win, because tomorrow is absolutely mandatory. You just can't lose this series. Cannot whatsoever. And I think before this ball game, we were tied for the second wild card spot with the Chicago Cubs. I'm not sure what happened with their ball game, but if we were still tied, I think we would fall a half game behind the Cubs. And if they win their ball game, we would fall to a game behind. Or if they lost, we would go back to being tied. But then it also depends on the teams below us, the Brewers, the Mets, the Brewers. Well, I already said the Brewers. I don't know why I said them again. The Cardinals, the Giants, just all the teams that are below us. We also got to watch out for those teams as well. And it's only going to get tougher from here after the series. We still got the Boston Red Sox. We still got to play the Reds, the Cleveland Indians. We got a lot of games against the NL East going into the end of the season. I think 2 series against New York Mets, 2 against the Braves, 2 against Miami, and 1 against Washington. So it's going to be a ton of tough baseball for this Phillies team, and they got to be ready for it. They got to shake this game off their back, scratch it off their back, and go into tomorrow with a clean slate. Because tomorrow's win is absolutely mandatory. Cannot lose a series to the San Diego Padres whatsoever. It is mandatory. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this ball game? What are you guys' thoughts on the offense struggling? What are your guys' thoughts on Zach Eflin, Nick Pivetta just basically blowing the ball game? And what are your thoughts going into tomorrow's game? Tomorrow's win is absolutely mandatory, so what are your thoughts going into it? So, don't forget to leave a comment, don't forget to drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.